Welcome to the following presentation of 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome to Inside the Eagle's Nest, your one stop for all things CrossFit athletics. Now, here's your host, Wes Pruitt.
Hello, CrossFit Eagle fans, and welcome back inside the Eagle's Nest. I'm Wes Pruitt. Tonight we've got, for your football program, this man wears a lot of hats around the athletic program at CrossFit, just to let everybody know. He is your football program outside linebackers coach, baseball program hitting coach, and he's the coordinator of the weight room, Mr. Josh Cook. Coach Cook, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
Coach, let's do a little bit of talking about you first, and then we'll get into all these games. So what exactly do you teach for CrossFit?
I teach the freshman and sophomore level, U.S. and world history.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of teaching and coaching, give me your thoughts on how you think teaching translates into coaching and makes you a better coach. Well,
man, that's a really easy question for me because I'm all about the kids. I mean, I love the kids. That's why I got into this. Growth in the classroom, and it directly correlates, the growth on the field. If you can help them in the classroom, like Coach Newton said last week on the show, if you can teach in there, then you can teach on the field. And I mean, learning about, students and then the athletes, their backgrounds, and helping them grow, whether it be bad or whether it be good, it's always awesome to be a teacher and then, be a leader secondhand to help those kids grow.
That's a great answer. What is your favorite thing about coaching here in CrossFit Arkansas?
Favorite thing about coaching in CrossFit? Man, I
ask tough questions on this show, man.
The list is long, brother.
Okay.
I think that my favorite thing, man, is just the people, the community as a whole. Where I'm from, Rosin, just a close-knitted community, backs the kids, supports the kids. It's nothing to have people bringing Gatorades up there to the field house. Just the feel of, how – and it's all of, football, basketball, baseball. I mean, the community supports it, and it reminds me of home. So any place that you can go to remind you of home when you're not at home is a safe haven. So that's probably my favorite thing.
I can definitely second that. And thank you to everybody watching right now on the Eagles Nest Facebook page, also on 4-Star Sports Media Facebook and YouTube. I can definitely attest to that, Coach Cook. Being from Memphis, Tennessee, and having the culture shock of moving to CrossFit Arkansas, it's a little bit slower down here. You can't just go to the gas station and buy beer, things like that. It's very different.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it any other way. I absolutely love it here. Speaking of things that you do, what are some things that you can let the CrossFit Eagle fans know that you do outside of teaching and football?
Well, during football season, there ain't, spending time with my wife is the most important. Just family time in general. I like to hunt, fish, all that stuff. But I mean, when it's football time, it's football time. Play a little golf here and there, but when fall hits, you might as well put those in the closet and lock the door, because it's film and it's football time. So, but other than that, man, I mean, it's family, Yeah,
most definitely. Coach, you had a nice win this past Friday night right across the street from my house right here at Yarborough Field to get the CrossFit Eagle football team to 6-2, 4-1 in the league. I've been saying it for a few weeks, and we're going to get into it right after this quick break, but this CrossFit football team is a team on a mission.
Yes, they are, man. And talking about the Ashley Bowl, the biggest thing, for us was the rivalry. How are our kids going to go into the rivalry game? We weren't worried about, we worried about us. We're worried about, it don't matter if we're playing the Patriots. We're worried about CrossFit. But rivalry weeks can bring in a lot of talking, and I was a part of a big rivalry back home with us in Fordyce. So everybody talked about the Ashley County Bowl and how big it was. So having the kids win with class was the biggest thing. We want to win, but we want to win with class. And we did that. So
yeah,
it was really
point. Yeah, it was. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll get into the Ashley County Bowl and more.
Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, The 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media.
We are back inside the Eagles Nest. Coach, I was looking at some stats for this team, and offensively, it's Ole Miss, get your popcorn ready numbers, man. But one thing that really stands out to me about this football program, and I talked to Coach Newton about it last week, is on the defensive side of the ball. If you look at this team, they've outscored their opponents 372 to 129. When you break that down by the quarter, and I'm sure you already know this, I'm sure you've already ran the numbers. First quarter, you have only given up 46 points the entire season. Second quarter, 28. Third quarter, 43. But the fourth quarter is the one that really stands out to me, and that's 12 points the entire season on the fourth quarter. Talk a little bit about this defense for this Cross-State Eagle football team.
Yeah, man. Earlier in the year, me, Coach Newton, the defensive staff, we were having trouble, with the run. Then we would have trouble with the pass. When we would stop one, we would give a little bit up on the other. But to this point, we've equalized those numbers. We've stopped the run for the most part. We stopped the pass for the most part. And we told the guys, when you trust your key, man, when you do your job, you guys, people don't have to score. That's Coach Newton tells them all the time. They don't have to score. That it starts off at 0, baby. It ain't got to go. It ain't got to go up from there. But they race to the football. It's a race to the ball, whether it be a pass, whether it be a run. We got 11 maroon, white, black jerseys on the football, and that's what we want. We want to race to the football.
And that's something that y'all have done every game I've watched this season. And I made a comment on the show after the Warren loss. I said the rest of the teams on this CrossFit football schedule need to look out because this team is going to be out for blood. And Coach Jackson in the pregame for the Ashley County Bowl said that's your motto.
Yeah.
The old saying that I'm sure you said it playing youth ball. I know I said it. Blood makes the grass grow. Kill, kill, kill. It's an old saying, but it's still true to this day. Let's talk a little bit about this Ashley County Bowl. Got the win 56-3 Friday night. That first beautiful punt return, I actually caught it on camera. It happened to be coming right at me, and I just happened to I had my phone in my hand, so I recorded it. But the pedal was on the floor the entire night, Coach.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about the preparation going into this game during the practice week.
Well, like I said before we took that break, our focus is on us every week. Coach Jackson comes in on Monday. The staff, the kids, they know our goal is to win one game a week. We don't look, ahead to the future or nothing like that. Whoever we got Friday, that's where our eyes are. So, it was Hamburg, but we worried about us. We had a really good week of practice. Monticello week, we had a really good week of practice. This is probably the best 2 weeks we've had all year, I would say. But man, we executed. Talking about the punt from the very beginning, he wanted it fast right off the jump, and it was. Anytime Two's got the ball in his hands, he's got a chance to score. And on the other side of the field, you got 6. So good luck. You better kick it out of bounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a staff, because eventually it's going to happen, and y'all pretty well know that, where they're just going to stop kicking to you. I don't know why they kick to him now. I really don't. I mean, y'all have got freaking Tony Pollard and Devin Hester back there returning kicks. I mean, so what do you do as a staff when they just quit doing it? I mean, you just take the ball where it is.
We'll take it wherever they want to give it to us. That's what we want. Our job as a defense is to get the ball back to the offense. So wherever they want to give it to us at, that's where we're going to take it.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about a kid that I think is an absolute stud. His name's Max Brooks. That young man is fun to watch at linebacker. Talk a little bit about him if you don't mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, Max is a headhunter. He's very coachable. He does what he's told to do. We've actually bumped him to the wheel, behind Mayweather. Moved Santario Scott to the mic. Santario Scott, man, he ever since we've moved him there, he has been electric. But Max is going to do what he's told to do. I mean, if you got Max reading this, Max reading that, Max is going to do what you tell him to do. And the kid wants to win. He's a winner. He refuses to lose. And when you got 11 kids over there that refuse to lose, then you're going to be victorious in a lot of different ways.
Talk a little bit about your preparation this week on the defensive side of the ball, just specifically, because your defense. I say your defense. I did it last week too. I'm sorry. The staff's defense was just relentless Friday night for 4 quarters. Was absolutely just relentless.
Yeah, we started breaking that film down. Once we got it up after the game, we got everything cleaned up, and Coach Newton whispered. We're both watching the film, and he whispered to me. He said, "Man, have you watched play so and so?" And it was like play 6 or 7 or 8, whatever. And he's like, "They're trying to kill him." He said, "When they get there, they want them to feel it, and you can see it on film." So on defense, you got to have a different mindset. I mean, the blood makes the grass grow, kill, kill, kill. But you have to be fundamental and to be a dog. You got to have that. That thing about you. And, we got 11 guys over there that got that thing about them, and if one of them goes down, we got somebody to go in for them, and they're finally starting to build some confidence, in themselves. They're taking coaching. They're buying into what we're telling them. And, but they haven't hit their stride, man. They're really close. And when they do, it's going to be scary. But those 11 kids over there, man, they'll do anything in the world for you. They do what they're told to do.
Talk a little bit about what it's like to be on the defensive side of the ball, and you look up and the final score is 56-3. Talk a little bit about what it's like to have that offense on the flip side.
Well, I guess the craziest game that we've experienced since Coach Jackson's been here was the CAC game last year in the first round of the playoffs. We go up to CAC, and I mean, we go to the tent, and we're under the tent, maybe getting the HDMI plugged in, and all of a sudden, the crowd's going crazy because number 4's in the end zone, and we ran 2 plays, And it was like that Friday night, man. We would hear that you just listened to the crowd. I mean, you weren't going to be in there 10 or 15 seconds, and, we're in the end zone, which, I mean, that's how it's supposed to go. That's how we want it to go. So,
yeah,
get the ball back to them. That's our job.
That's true. But it's got to be really fun to look up and get that trophy is beautiful. I mean, that thing is sharp, man. And then when you see what the old one was compared to what the new one is, it's a nice upgrade, and it's always fun to watch this Ashley County Bowl, no matter if it's in Crossett or Hamburg, doesn't matter. It's a very spirited rivalry.
It really is.
On both sides of town. Talk a little bit about what this win means for the program of Crossett.
Oh, I don't know the numbers as far as who's winning overall.
It was the 86th meeting, and Crossett is leading the series.
Well, I've been a part of 2 Ashley Bowls. 2 years ago, we beat them by a couple points, man. It was wet. Probably the best football game that I was a part of besides the Arkadelphia win in the quarters. But last year we didn't get to play it because of the COVID issue, but
right.
It doesn't matter, with 56-3 or 3-0. I mean, the game is intense. Even if you're up big or you're down big, it doesn't matter. It's still a rivalry game. Gives me chills thinking about it. Because of the environment. The community, how awesome it was. Towards the end of the game when Hart put the game away with that interception. The whole team lifted him up. I mean, that was just an awesome feeling, and it was even better that it happened in a rivalry game,
Yeah, most definitely. Talk a little bit about the motto before we jump over to Helena. Talk a little bit about the motto of commit to the sea and just what the staff has done, what the team has done, and also what it means to have the city of Crossett literally committing to the sea.
Yeah, Coach Jackson started that commit to the sea and not to me. So, it's a unit. It's not, no selfishness going on. You think about the guy beside you before you, make a decision, and that, we all got each other's backs. The staff is close knitted. The kids are close knitted, every day. They tell us, we love y'all, y'all be safe, going home. And then, in the community, you got commit to the sea signs up in the yard. You have T-shirts being worn, hoodies being worn, everybody. And that's what it's going to take. It takes the community, behind these kids to push them, and get going. But commit to the sea is just a selfless act. It doesn't, not focused on one person. It's a unit, and it's cross it. It's nothing else,
Man, I tell you what, I absolutely love it. It gets me pumped up. Every
week.
Man,
it's awesome.
Awesome. Between that and these videos that Coach Grant Collins is pumping out every week, man, I want to run through a wall, and it's like Tuesday.
Collins is the man.
Collins is incredible with those videos, man. All right, let's talk about another road trip. I feel like y'all been on the road a lot lately. Another road trip, and it's not a close one. You ain't going 45 minutes. You ain't going 45 minutes up the road to Monticello. Got about a 4-hour drive over to Helena to take on the 0-9 team. They're 0-5 in conference. Coach, let's talk a little bit about this game. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. You don't want to overlook this game, but at the same time, they're also 0-9, 0-5. I think in this game, you just got to kind of be you and just play your ball and get the win. Am I pretty well correct on that?
Yeah, you are. I mean, kind of like last week, we're not worried about Helena. We're worried about Crossett. We're being mistake free. We're going to try to go out there and play our football and get better, in whatever aspect that we need to get better in. But, when you see Helena on the football field, it's athletes everywhere. I mean, you can't mistake them, for being a bad ball club. They got athletes everywhere. But we're not going to overlook anybody. Records go out the window at this point. Kind of got a target sitting on your back when you're putting up these kind of numbers. So, they have everything to gain, nothing to lose. So we're going to go into it full head of steam, just like we did last week, man. We're going to go into it every week like that. We're focused on us, mistake-free football, and hit the ground running.
One more thing before we get out of here, Coach. Talk a little bit about Coach Jackson and what he's meant to not only you personally, but to the staff.
Up to this point, he's the best head coach that I've ever worked for, as far as knowledge, growing as a person for me, not just as a coach, but as a person. He cares about his staff. He cares about the kids, and he's a winner. He's got this saying on a scale of 1 to 10, being 11, and he's an 11. That guy, he's been through a lot this year, health-wise, and he's right there leading the way every week. He's came to work before with a hospital, bracelet on his wrist, ready to go to work. He doesn't care. He's not gonna have an excuse. He's there to win, and he's brought the staff closer than they have been since I've been there. And he's got these kids on board, man, and he's a special person to me personally, but I know he's a real special person to the community as well.
Oh, I think he is definitely well liked around the city of Crossett. And around the country for that matter. If you go back and look at his coaching pedigree, he's been everywhere, including D1.
Yeah, he's got a resume about as long as the dictionary.
Yeah, it's impressive to actually sit down and look at it.
Yeah, man knows his stuff.
It does. All right, Coach, one more thing before we get out of here. Once again, thank you very much for being inside the Eagles Nest with us tonight. This show will be put up on Apple and Spotify immediately following the show. Give me about a half hour and it should be up. One more thing, Coach, before we get out of here. Give me just tell the town of Crossett, get them pumped up for this game coming up on the road.
Yeah,
taking a long road trip to Helena.
Well, I tell you what, man, the biggest thing is that student section. If we could maybe get some kind of a bus trip together or something for these kids to, make that 4-hour bus ride. But I encourage everybody, man. I don't care if we're playing in New Jersey, make the trip. It means the world to these kids, when they look up there pregame and middle, halfway through the game and the stands are full. I heard them this past week, which, it was the Ashley Bowl. It's going to be big. They walked out there and they were like, dang, man, we're full again. They look for that. They look for that. So, Helena's a long drive, but come support them. I don't care where we're playing. Come support them. It means the world to them.
Most definitely, most definitely. Once again, Coach Josh Cook has been inside the Eagles Nest with us. Coach, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Guys, we are out. We'll be back next week. Thank you very much. Go Eagles.